If you've ever felt like pushing yourself to grow leaves you on the edge of overwhelm, you are not alone. As a highly sensitive woman, building confidence isn't about toughening up. It's about stretching gently and not shattering in the process. In this episode, I'm exploring 4 ways to strengthen your self-esteem without abandoning your sensitivity so you can expand your comfort zone with more ease, grace, and self-trust. Hey lady, welcome to the Highly Sensitive Woman podcast. Do you struggle with self-doubt, setting boundaries, or feeling overwhelmed? My name is Alyssa, and I'm a highly sensitive woman who spent years trying to fit in, ignoring my own needs, and living in constant fear of disappointing others. But I finally discovered the power of embracing who I am, and now I don't feel so broken. In this podcast, you'll learn to find your voice, set boundaries, and live with bold confidence and inner peace. Grab a cozy blanket. It's time to connect with someone just like you. Hello and welcome back to the Highly Sensitive Woman. I am honored that you are here and that you are listening, and I just hope that wherever you are listening in the world, that today's topic really hits home for you, because I know for me, for so many years of my life, anytime I decided that I needed to work on a particular trait or skill, it came from a place of criticism for many, many years, and that criticism just kind of obliterated my confidence. And part of that came from anytime I wanted to make a change, I thought that I had to go from, 0 to 60 overnight. And I found all of these ways that I was lacking or less than or broken. And my confidence was just in the pit. And I told myself that I needed to change because I needed to be more like other people, and that to do that, I had to change everything about me, like right now. And the result of that was actually the complete opposite of what I was going for, and I just kind of retreated because my self-esteem had taken yet another hit. And I'm guessing that you have experienced that at least once in your life. And so today I really want to focus on a shift away from trying to force confidence upon ourselves and that like fake it till you make it. And if I just project and I just pretend to be the way that these other people are projecting and I perceive them to be, that I will become confident. And instead, I want us to really focus on nurturing our confidence and our self-esteem in a way that it can really take hold and grow some roots. I have mentioned over and over and over how much I love nature, and I am really fascinated by trees that have exposed roots and how, sometimes they're on the bank of some body of water and they might be tilting over, but they still haven't fallen because their roots are so strong and so firmly in the ground that even when some of them come loose, they can still stay upright. And those are the kind of roots that we want to grow with our self-esteem and our confidence. So I want to start by kind of reframing what confidence looks like. It is not about constant reassurance and telling yourself, all of these very positive things. It's about learning how to trust yourself. And one of the things that comes with that is understanding that confidence, it is not necessarily being loud or boisterous or taking charge. It can look like that, absolutely. But for many of us, it probably doesn't, and it won't. And that's okay, because confidence for all of us, but especially as highly sensitive women, it is about finding what feels in alignment and not about a performance. So let's dive into 4 ways that you can stretch yourself and bolster your self-esteem without shattering in the process. 1 is to practice gentle exposure and not overexposure. Again, we're not trying to go from 0 to 60 overnight. We're trying to go from 0 to maybe 0.2. Because growth really does happen in micro doses and not these massive leaps. It's kind of like sunlight. A little bit might help you grow, help you bloom, maybe give you a little sunlight or vitamin D, whatever the case may be, but too much of it is going to burn you out. And those of you who have seen my picture, you know too much sun is not going to be good for me. And the same is true for too much exposure to try to push ourselves too far. We end up just kind of crumbling under the process. So we want to choose just one small controlled stretch and just something that is just slightly outside your comfort zone. And afterward, just pausing and reflecting on what went well, what you learned, and what of that experience you could do again and maybe even build upon. Number 2 is rewriting your inner dialogue. Low self-esteem thrives. I mean, really thrives in silence. So we want to kind of interrupt that inner dialogue and that silence with some compassion, or one of my absolute favorites is curiosity. Sometimes it can be difficult to have compassion in the moment. Your brain just can't quite tap into that emotion, but curiosity can often be easier. So noticing when that inner critic is chiming in, I'm so awkward, or they think I'm weird, or phrases that have always or never in them, and then responding with some curiosity instead of that criticism. Noticing that thought or even thought spiral and responding with, oh, that's interesting. I wonder why my brain is having that thought right now. And then it's going to give you another thought. And then again, oh, that's interesting. I wonder why my brain is giving me that thought right now. And just kind of keep going with the next thought that it offers and the next thought that it offers, much like a young child who keeps asking why. And I know sometimes that can be a little frustrating when someone keeps asking you why, but coming with that curiosity, your thoughts are going to start getting to the root of what it is, and not adding that criticism on top of it really helps with building your self-trust and your confidence, because over time you begin to understand that your brain, left to its own devices, it really can run wild and come up with all sorts of things. By being curious and having compassion for those thoughts, you have more control, which is going to build that self-trust. And then self-trust is the foundation for lasting confidence. Number 3, redefining your success and soften perfectionism. Low self-esteem often hides behind absolutely impossible to meet standards. I know we often, as highly sensitive women, can hold ourselves to some very rigid expectations, and if I can't do it perfectly, I shouldn't do it at all, was kind of my unspoken mantra for decades of my life. But when we shift to measuring the effort that we are putting forth and not necessarily the outcome, and celebrating the progress and the consistency rather than the flawless results, that's when we can really start to build our self-esteem, because we're now no longer trying to meet a standard that is not meetable. And number 4, anchor your worth in who you are, not what you do. So many of us tie our self-esteem to performance. We have to be doing, helping, achieving. And what I want to encourage you to do is find something every single day that is purely about being and not doing. As the weather is getting colder where I live, I really enjoy having a hot beverage. So maybe you could sit with a cup of tea and simply notice its warmth and its fragrance and how it tastes, and really just be in that moment. Or maybe at the end of the day, you could say to yourself, I was enough today simply because I existed. Your confidence will grow when you are able to remember that you are inherently valuable, not just when you are productive or perfect, but simply just by being. So some 4 ways that you can stretch without shattering and bolster your self-esteem. Practicing gentle exposure and not overexposure so that you don't shock your system. Rewrite your inner dialogue and replace self-criticism with a conversation. Redefining success and measuring your effort, not your outcome. And anchoring your worth in who you are, not what you do, because you are worthy before you prove anything. Until next time, take care. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds and share it with a friend who may be feeling like she's broken too? I'd love it if you leave a quick review for the show on Apple Podcasts. It brings me so much joy to know this podcast is helping you. Now it's time for me to stop talking and go soothe my senses in nature. I'll meet you back here next week for another episode. Take care.